You ever notice your dad can lift a broken washing machine, a gas cylinder, and your entire self-esteem, but doesn't know what a lat pull-down is? Meanwhile, you're in the gym with a $60 lifting belt, a smartwatch, a hydration strategy, creatine loading phase, deload week, reload week, and emotional support playlist, and still asking, "Bro, can you spot me for 135?" Welcome back to GainsGuy, where we chase gains and emotional damage. Today, we're talking about the most powerful training program ever created. Not science-based training, not progressive overload, not German volume training. It's called Single Angry Dad plus no equipment plus one bad day at work. And somehow, it works. Scientists say optimal hypertrophy requires volume, intensity, frequency, recovery, and nutrition. Dad says, lift it again. That's it. That's the whole program. My dad doesn't track calories. He tracks disappointment. He doesn't progressive overload. He aggressive overloads. And today, we're breaking down why dad's strength is undefeated, with real examples, emotional trauma, and highly unscientific science. You know how you warm up? 5 minutes treadmill, mobility drills, activation sets, band work, breathing patterns? Dad warm-up argues with customer support for 12 minutes. Heart rate, 160. Blood pressure, classified. Grip strength, unlocked. You stretch your hamstrings. Dad stretches patience. And patience is the strongest muscle in the human body, right next to forearms built from carrying groceries in one trip. Not 2 trips, not 3. 1 trip or dishonor. Gym strength. Bro, I can deadlift 405. Dad strength. Moves entire sofa alone and says, "Why is this so light? Cheap quality." Gym guy uses lifting straps. Dad uses rage. Gym guy, chalk. Dad, dust from the garage. Gym guy, protein shake. Dad, half-cold coffee from 2009. You train posterior chain. Dad trains responsibility chain. You do farmer's walks with dumbbells. Dad does farmer's walks with water cases, toolboxes, your broken dreams, and a ladder for no reason. Have you ever tried opening a jar your dad closed? That's not a jar, that's a cry for help. Scientists should study that lid torque. I once saw my dad hold flashlight, screwdriver, phone, and the thing he was fixing, all with 2 fingers. Meanwhile, I need wrist wraps to open a protein bar. You, macro tracking, meal prep, air fryer chicken, rice measured to the gram. Dad, random leftovers plus anger plus tea. Protein timing? Dad eats when food exists. Supplements? Vitamin go do something useful. Pre-workout? Bill payment reminder. Post-workout? Sits down and makes that noise. That's recovery. In the gym, you say, feel the contraction. Dad says, feel the problem and fix it. He's not training chest, he's training consequences. I asked my dad once, do you engage your core when lifting? He said, I engage survival. That's when I knew my PPL split was a lie. True story. When I was younger, I thought my dad wasn't that strong. Then one day the fridge stopped working. Repair guy said, we need 2 people to move it. My dad said, no discount? Repair guy, no. Dad lifted the fridge alone out of pure financial motivation. That was the day I stopped arguing about progressive overload, because nothing overloads like electricity bill season. And yeah, we joke, but real talk for a second. Dad's strength is built from years of carrying family problems quietly. That's heavier than any barbell. Then he puts it down and asks, did you eat? Science says, rest 2 to 3 minutes between sets. Dad says, rest when finished. Science, avoid overtraining. Dad, avoid being lazy. Science, form matters. Dad, if it moved, it worked.
Same task, move a couch. Gym bro version. Okay, wait, let me stretch first. Is this neutral spine? Bro, film this. Is this functional? Dad version. Already moved it. Also fixed the floor scratch. also blamed you for it. Gym bro lifts and says, "That was heavy." Dad lifts and says, "Who bought this useless furniture?" Gym bro checks Apple Watch stats. Dad checks if the job is done. Gym bro, rate of perceived exertion, 9. Dad, rate of stupidity, 10. Why is this here? Gym PR, deadlift, 405, screams, slaps thighs, ammonia, Viking music. Dad PR, lifts generator into truck silently, does not speak, walks away, drinks water, end of documentary. No hype, no chalk, no camera angle, just pure, I don't want to do this twice. Gym equipment, calibrated plates, Olympic bar, rubber flooring, safety pins. Dad equipment, bent wrench, one screw missing, extension cord from the Clinton administration, chair that still works if you sit correctly. Gym injuries, muscle strain. Dad injuries, nothing happened, bone clearly not in correct position. You, Zone 2 cardio, heart rate monitor, incline treadmill, fat oxidation zone. Dad cardio, late for work, or hears a sound outside at 2 a.m. That sprint time is Olympic level. You run for fat loss. Dad runs for who is there? Gym gives you workouts. Life gives dads side quests. Fix sink, carry tiles, hold ladder, move cupboard, open impossible jar, lift child plus groceries plus keys plus phone. You train muscles once a day. Dad trains randomly like a video game NPC. No split, only chaos periodization. Monday, back. Tuesday, shoulders. Wednesday, plumbing. Thursday, electrical risk. Friday, yelling at manual. Gym, inhale, brace, exhale. Dad makes one sound. That's it. That's the breathing pattern. Scientists can't replicate it. NASA tried. We joke about dad strength, but here's the truth moment. Most dads never trained for aesthetics. They trained for necessity. No mirror checks, no pump covers, no lighting, just responsibility reps. My dad never said leg day, but he climbed stairs carrying more weight than my squat PR. Never said core work, but held the whole house together emotionally. Never said discipline, but woke up every day and showed up. That's a lifetime bulk nobody talks about. Science program, 12-week hypertrophy mesocycle. Dad program, lifetime subscription to figure it out. Science, track volume. Dad, track bills. Science, failure training. Dad, family training. Science, deload week. Dad, no such software installed. Remember, you take pre-workout. Dad takes responsibility. You do farmer walks with dumbbells. Dad does farmer walks with groceries, gas cylinder, and your future. You progressive overload. Dad progressive overthinks. You hit muscular failure. Dad hits emotional damage. So next time your dad lifts something insanely heavy and says it's nothing, understand, that man didn't build strength in a gym. He built it in long days, short sleep, silent stress, and zero excuses. And yeah, we're chasing gains here on GainsGuy. But if you really want ultimate strength, carry responsibility, carry people, carry your word. Also carry groceries in one trip, because if you make 2 trips, dad strength automatically uninstalls from your bloodline. This is GainsGuy, where the workouts are hard, the jokes are harder, and your dad is still stronger than you. Now go train, because he's watching.